Copper fam, welcome to Vancouver. Where of all the sports, it's the one with the round ball that's currently the talk of the town. As the city's unique, historic connection to the game is on the rise once again. And so, with the Canadian Cup being an all-Vancouver derby and the Whitecaps arguably the most exciting team in the MLS, we've come to the west coast of Canada for 2 games in 1 week to find out why it's all kicking off in Vancouver. So here we are in a Vancouver, British Columbia that's surprisingly sunny for this time of year. It's a city known for its mountains, its greenery, and usually its rain. And it's a place I've been told where the locals live a lifestyle that's best described as laid back. But when it comes to their MLS team, it's been anything but. And it's all thanks to a season like no other that has turned this city wild for the Whitecaps. They've got more points in the season than ever before, scored more goals in the season than ever before. They've equaled their clean sheet record and are now selling out all available tickets week in, week out.
You know what? We're small, we're proud, and we're fucking good!
They've beaten Austin 5-1, beaten Portland 5-0, destroyed a top-of-the-table Philadelphia 7-0, and went on a 23-game run where they lost just once. This season, they've made it all the way to this region's Champions League final. They're hosting this country's cup final. They secured their place in the MLS playoffs with a month to go, and to top it off, they signed one of the biggest names in the game. And so that's why we find ourselves here in Van City, as locals call it, where tomorrow night over there in BC Place, the Whitecaps host the final of the Voyageurs Cup, which is essentially the equivalent of the country's cup final. And they're doing it in their first ever derby against Canadian Premier League side Vancouver FC, with another match followed days later in their MLS tie against San Jose. And so to find out how Canada's 3rd biggest city has become arguably its soccer capital, we attended both matches, as well as covering every corner of the city to speak to locals young and old and find out just how special of a moment it is for the game here. And to start it all off, I'm catching up with my mate Tagwa, who's actually originally from Toronto, but moved here because of the game, and as one of the founders of the brilliant Canadian soccer magazine Derby, knows the scene here better than anyone else.
Football in Vancouver is at an all-time high right now. What's happening right now with the Whitecaps is it's nothing like I've ever seen before within Canadian football, within MLS football. Every single game, it doesn't matter if it's catch-up, it doesn't matter if it's league stuff, it doesn't matter if it's an MLS match, midweek, Saturday, Sunday. I have people asking me for tickets. Right now, the Whitecaps are the hot commodity in the city. It's like a contagious feeling, and some people might say it's bandwagon fans, but it's not. The football culture in Vancouver, it's here, it's been here, it's always been here, and a good example is where we are right now. Commercial Drive, Little Italy here in Vancouver. You got bars all over lined up like this with football on the TVs, memorabilia, just places where football can exist in this province and excel. But I think to best understand Vancouver football culture, I gotta take you to a couple spots and you can see for yourself.
Provided. I have seen some soccer stores in my time, but this might take the cake. This is... oh no. I mean, it's like part museum, part stadium, part archive.
I promised you. I told you I was gonna take you to this one.
Man, I just was not expecting this in the first day. Like, this is special. First and foremost, where are we right now? Where are we sitting?
Boombox Barbershop in Vancouver, BC. This is my shirt studio, I guess.
We're sitting at the shop of North America Sports, the soccer shop, here in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada.
I just want to create a space to kind of center around sport, especially soccer.
I mean, when I was filling out an application for this spot, they were saying, what do you do? It's an art studio. I said, I collect football shirts, I guess. They're kind of art. And the guy said, I don't have a box for that, but all right, sure.
So you opened in 78.
Yes.
NASL. And then 47 years later, you're still here.
That's right. But the passion, it was destiny for soccer because that's our passion. That's what we feel.
So the fact that, we've been here for 50 plus years, it speaks to the international community here who loves the game, supports the game.
Vancouver soccer culture is 100% growing. It's like even the past 5 years, people are coming in that like don't even really talk much sports with us, and they're saying like, so how about the Whitecaps? And are you going to games? And
it's becoming what I would always wanted it to be.
It's a growing cosmopolitan city that's a young city, but has grown immensely in 30 years football-wise.
I mean, I don't know where to begin, but I'm going to go with the obvious. This mural, would you call it, paint?
Yes.
Football is special there, especially for people in Vancouver. They're kind of obsessive, a little bit more obsessive, I guess, because they're trying to prove themselves.
This was done in 97.
97, yes.
It's been here for 28 years.
Yes, it is.
You get people coming here at 8:30 on a Sunday who aren't looking to get their hair cut, aren't looking to get their beard shaved. They just want to watch the game.
yeah, no, we just come open up and we all just like, we lock the door.
That is a World Cup 94 medical jacket.
This is the passion of soccer that we feel, that I grew up with.
The medical officer that was walking Maradona off the pitch for his last game for Argentina before his positive drug test, that's the top that she was wearing.
And Vancouver is a hotbed, has always been a hotbed for soccer growth.
Football in this city has become way bigger than just football. I mean, everyone in the world plays EAFC, and very few people know that it's developed in Vancouver. Now, I'm sure you know that, but do you know that? Do you know that? FC has been developed in Vancouver for a long time, way before Vancouver got its flowers for football, but we've been developing football here that everyone's been playing everywhere in the world.
So let me get this straight. Vancouver is home to the birth of the game we all play today. Originally it was FIFA International Soccer, then FIFA, now EAFC. That all began here, where we're standing now.
Exactly. Since 1993, we've been making the game in here, and we have people from all around the world working here, making the game. Most of us, we are very big football fans. We support teams from all around the world. We play football right there during lunchtime. So the culture of football, it's always been part of Vancouver, and it's growing. It's definitely growing. Look at this.
This is proof of it, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I just think there's something really beautiful in this idea that, we came here to learn about soccer in the city and how it affects its locals, but the locals themselves have made a game that's been given to the world and definitely played in every living room of every fan of the sport. It's very special. Look, I could stay here all day, but our first game is up next, Can Champ.
Enjoy it.
We're running late as always, so we're gonna go.
The way that I've seen soccer explode in the last 5, 6, 7 years is massive. The way that people have started to invest their time and energy in being a fan.
People who've never been involved in football, who are suddenly seeing that something's happening in the city, is palpable, you can feel it, right? But it's all part of the same momentum because people who have been around for a long time have fallen back in love with the game again. The point really is the way this club is moving right now, the traction in the city, the way people are behaving and gravitating towards this club, that's really what we as fans care about. So this year, we as a supporters group, we've doubled in a year, doubled numbers in a year.
The
Southsiders, right?
They've really embraced that and see themselves and the club as a place that represents Vancouver.
Now, game this evening, it's the Canadian Cup. It's also called the Voyagers Cup. What exactly is the match tonight?
The Canadian Championship.
This is our FA Cup final. This is made for Canadians, by Canadians, and that's what makes it so special.
Tournament to determine the best club in Canada.
So there's no USA, there's no Mexico. This is just the top teams from Canada.
It started back in 2008, back when there were just 3 teams participating. Now expanded to 15 teams across 6 leagues, and it's Vancouver Whitecaps versus Vancouver FC. Vancouver FC is a Canadian Premier League team.
This is actually the first time that these two teams are playing. So no matter where you look at it, there's history to be made. You have the first ever derby between the Vancouver Whitecaps in the MLS and VFC in the CPL. If VFC wins tonight, they're going to be the first ever CPL team to raise the Voyagers Cup.
And Vancouver's trying to do something unprecedented, winning the title 4 years in a row.
It's just history on history on history.
If you had to predict, well, what are we looking at here?
The Whitecaps are heavily, heavily favored.
The chances are?
The chances are that the Whitecaps are going to come out on top.
I'm a betting man, and I'm not betting on USC. I can tell you that much.
Well, it looks like what everyone predicted has already started. 5 minutes in, the Whitecaps are already singing because they're up 1-0. Hopefully Vancouver can keep this tight for the sake of the cup, I think, for everyone, but we may just be about to see just how good the Vancouver Whitecaps are right now. All right, 10 minutes, 2-0. You heard it, goal.
10th minute, number 13, Thomas.
I think Thomas Muller alone probably makes what all of the Vancouver FC players make combined.
Who gives a fuck about the result? Because this is the celebration of Vancouver football. This derby is a sign of where Canadian football is going. Not where it's come from, where it's going.
I don't think we should even be focusing on if VFC are going to win or if they're not.
For the youth of this country to have a league to play in and grow.
It's usually Toronto, Montreal, Vancouver in the final. They're not supposed to be here. The fact that they're there, the fact that it's in Vancouver versus Vancouver, that is a win in itself. If VFC score, that's a W.
When was the moment you realized, oh, the Whitecaps are good? Like, this isn't just like a fad.
Yeah, it was honestly, I think it was this season, really mid-season when Ryan Gauld went down and they didn't skip a beat. Ryan Gauld was the heartbeat to this team. Like, you don't understand.
Like, he's been here for the 3 seasons before, kind of building it up. So for the season, they actually like skyrocket. For him to not be there is like, feel bad for him, you know? So it's like,
well, listen to that. The standing ovation wasn't just for Thomas Muller coming off. It was for Ryan Gauld, their beloved captain who's been injured for 6 months, one of 10 starters who's been injured, finally coming back for his first game since March. And it just shows, I think, how tight the Whitecaps community is, that they give him so much love for just coming on the field again. And of all the players who scored to make it 4-1, it's Ryan Gauld. He must be on the pitch 5 minutes. Surely that's the end of this crazy little cup final that is the Voyageurs Cup.
I think the big takeaway shouldn't be the result of this match tonight. I think the big takeaway should just be the growth and how quickly the sport has grown in Vancouver. And it hurts me to say as someone from Toronto, but seeing what Vancouver is doing right now, this is kind of the capital of football in Canada.
All right, well, one match day down, and it's already pretty evident just how much this sport is intertwined into the story of this city. From the effect the game has had on culture in this place, to how much this place has had an effect on the culture of the game. And we still have another Whitecaps match to go, this coming Sunday. So with the few days until that match, I want to use that time to get to know another strand of the story of soccer in this town. And that's its history and just how much it means here. Because one of the things most notable in the culture of the game here is just how common nods to the past are, especially when it comes to one particular decade and year. And so the plan is to try and meet every kind of Vancouver football fan there is, from hardcore to historian, from ex-pro to expert, and get an understanding of just how far back this game goes and why it all means so much here.
Pacific Canada.
In BC, more men and boys play soccer than any other sport.
You know, Vancouver is a special place in North America that doesn't get its due enough when it comes to the sport and the culture of the game. You know, Vancouver is known as the home of the Canucks, but scratch the surface, we're really the home of the Whitecaps. We're really the capital of soccer in Canada.
It's very, very deep. Soccer is probably the biggest local sport in this part of the country.
The West Coast was the way that where the game progressed the most.
That's interesting. I read a quote that up until the turn of the century, the province of BC gave Canada 60% of its national team players.
Absolutely, and that shouldn't be a surprise.
The fact that the National Soccer Development Center that is located out here, that's not a mistake. There's been a lot of investment into soccer here in BC.
But the enrollment rate of football is huge here, and we're seeing big players come from the West.
You're seeing guys like Ali Ahmed follow in the steps of Alphonso Davies.
We have Alphonso Davies, again, an Alberta kid, but came out of the West Coast and out of Vancouver eventually.
Then there's the women.
And the women are on another level.
Look at Christine Sinclair.
The GOAT of all football. I mean all football, not just women's football.
Not just women's soccer, but international soccer. She's the greatest scorer of all time, and she's from Burnaby. She is also a co-owner of The Rise.
That's the women's team in the new Women's League.
Northern Super League, yes.
They're not playing while we're here.
They're not playing while you're here.
Vancouver played a huge role in the popularity, I think, of the women's gaming.
It's just an all-around really good sport. All the girls that play naturally feel the same way. We really take it seriously, yeah.
Because again, it was in those days when that national team got started up by Canada Soccer, you were finding that a lot of the best players were from here. And so football has been a big, big part of the sporting fabric in this city. Big reason for it is because of the climate. We have the mildest winter climate in the country out here.
Because you go to where I'm from in Toronto, from really November till May, you can't play outside. There's snow, there's slush, it's freezing, it's disgusting. Here, it's just raining.
So wait, this business started as a ski store?
Yes.
But there wasn't enough snow?
That's right.
Because it's rain in Vancouver, not snow.
That's right. Vancouver's got a very rainy climate, so...
It's Vancouver. It's Vancouver, bro.
Yeah, I grew up in Manchester with the rain, and you kind of get used to it. When you come to Vancouver, it rained for like 3, 4, 5 weeks in a row.
We're one of the rainiest major cities in North America, and it lends itself to playing the game.
So we get to play outside a little bit more.
And it rains a lot?
Even when that's some of the best time. You can slide on that grass, boy, you never get hurt.
Like playing in the mud, is that the...
I was pretty good in the mud.
So what, rain's part of the culture?
Rain is part of the culture.
Of course, it keeps things nice and green here.
Such a green city. I guess it's from the rain, right?
Yeah, it's just beautiful. I mean, sometimes you get them postcards and then you show up at the place and you think, where is it? But in Vancouver, that's what you see.
I think that's another fascinating thing. How much parks play a role when I talk to everyone about what football means?
Yeah, the history is so unique. You can go to Callister Park in East Vancouver, where they used to have the old grandstand and local games being played there.
There are 81 teams and nearly 2,000 players in BC's Amateur Soccer League.
This is the stadium, the famous stadium at Callister Park, where you see the people that on every Sunday at 2 o'clock there was a Columbus game.
The Hungarians, the Italians, the Greeks, the English, the Scots, even the Canadians play soccer.
That's what I keep hearing, that it's not just the 70s and the start of the Whitecaps. It goes way before that with plenty of ethnic-based clubs and local clubs.
You know, Vancouver has a rich history of soccer. Immigrants coming to Vancouver and play soccer.
Could you name some of the clubs that kind of have legend in the
in local lore?
Yeah.
Columbus is the Italian community one. There's Vancouver, Croatia. There's Portuguese Club of Vancouver, or PCOV as they're known here locally.
Yeah, there's the St. Andrews, which was the local Scottish team.
The Hungarian team, Vancouver Eintracht for the Germans. The Germans, yes.
Victoria Athletics is another famous club. Granby Legion's another famous club.
Vancouver Firefighters.
Yeah, they were very much made up of a lot of guys who were firefighters. Very, very good club.
And Pushkas during the Vancouver Royals era.
It was about a 10-team league.
And were they well supported? Like,
very well supported.
The history of people showing up for these amateur games, thousands of people lying on the sidelines and that. They might as well have been Manchester United to us. That to me is the core of soccer in British Columbia and Vancouver. And that's what I think set the foundation.
So we're talking before the Whitecaps.
Way before the Whitecaps, because we didn't come into this till 74, right?
So the essential history of the Whitecaps is they form in 73, first game in 74. They're only 3 years younger than PSG. This is a couple of significant history.
It is, it's huge. And no other MLS club, no other club of any kind on both sides of the border has that longevity of a timeline as this club does now.
How long have you both been supporting the Whitecaps?
Since the beginning.
Since the beginning.
Since the beginning. 52 years.
Well, I was at the first match in 1974, May 5th, 1974 at Empire Stadium. Once
remember the day?
For first game that Whitecaps ever played, I was there. Yeah.
You were there in this former stadium.
The stadium was Empire Stadium back then.
It was a great place to see a match because it was a horseshoe stadium with just a fantastic view of the North Shore Mountains.
What were the crowds like back in the 70s and early 80s at Empire Field?
I'll start with the beginning. I mean, in 74, I think there was a couple of games at the start they had some big crowds and people just tailed off.
The team didn't really sell out per se.
They weren't big crowds to start with. They were about 3,000-4,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then when did the crowd start to pick up?
That game in 1977 when the Eurocosmos came to Empire Stadium.
That's Pele with
the Cosmos.
In the red and white era?
Yes.
They were red and white like Canada from 74 to 78.
So when the New York Cosmos came to Vancouver, it was billed as the last time you'll see Pele. And that was the first time that the Whitecaps had actually sold out Empire Stadium.
They won 5-3, sold out stadium, and that got people into the game.
That turned the fortune of the Whitecaps, right?
I'm telling you, the Whitecaps really grew the love of soccer.
They touched the city.
They did.
And they were really doing well. They were winning games left, right, center. They're getting 20,000 people to a game.
It was just incredible. Nobody knew who those players were, and all of a sudden, everybody knew who they were.
The hockey fans became Whitecap fans. The mayor of Vancouver was a Whitecap fan. It just infiltrated our soul. It was incredible,
Just coming to a game. It became cultural.
Just walking to the stadium was fun. There were so many people with their transistor radios.
And it picked up even further in 1978.
By 78, the word of mouth was starting to spread. You started seeing the crowds rise, and then they started winning when those crowds were there. They had the best record in 1978.
But they lost in the playoffs.
At 79, that's the year.
That's the year. That's the year.
That's the season that everything changed.
Everything changed.
I can still remember the first opening game. Team came out, it was so loud, you couldn't hear the announcer actually announcing the team out on the field.
Firstly, the badge changed in 79.
First, the Whitecaps gave themselves a new look that was more representative of the city they play in by unveiling a flashy new logo and uniform design.
And after that, it was bigger than the Canucks. So if you're talking about stadiums, it held about 32,000, and it's full.
It was always full.
There was a kind of a homegrown feel to it all.
Oh God, we had notorious stuff like Willie Johnson's Corner, which you have seen in the stadium. They have this big thing up.
And so you start all of this, Willie's Corner, which we saw the other night. So what's the story that inspired it?
Okay, nice, mild-mannered Willie, and he got on the field was a nightmare.
And he mooned the cameras.
Do you have any other anecdotes of what Willie got up to behind the scenes?
Not that I can say on camera, no. It was very shy off the field, but on the field, oh, it was completely different.
Finals were down in San Jose and had to get a goal at the end of the game.
So Willie goes to take an in-swinging corner.
And he heard a voice from behind him.
There was a fan there that says, "Hey, Willie, you thirsty?" And he says, "Yeah," and he takes a bottle of beer from him.
So what did he do? He took a beer, and the rest is history.
Takes a swig.
But Willie Johnston finally started making some timely noises, never being one to refuse a generous offer.
Puts it down, puts the ball on the floor, and
no.
That's the winning goal.
I mean, this 79 season just has
it's magic.
Story after story after story.
That's right. There was something about that year. It was a magical year.
Just the playoff run. You beat Johan Cruyff's LA Aztecs. Yeah, you beat New York Cosmos. And then there's the final.
Yes.
Back in New York. Against Tampa Bay Rowdies.
The crowd gathered in Giant Stadium for soccer's version of the Super Bowl of the World Series.
79. Where were you for the final?
Final, I was over at my grandparents' house, and we had basically a family party.
For the final, again, I was delivering newspapers on a Saturday.
So you watched it in the shop?
Yes.
I watched the first half, then I had to go off, get my papers, and started delivering. So
I'm not exaggerating. We had a full house of people inside and people watching from outside.
I distinctly remember, like, I went into all the apartments, and everywhere I went, I could hear the game on in the background.
It sounds like it was a World Cup final.
I'm telling you.
So that is you there.
That is me.
In the crowd.
That is me, peeking through.
At the Meadowlands Stadium back in 1979 for the final of the soccer ball.
That is me.
I don't think there's been ever a moment that's been matched here in Vancouver.
And that's fascinating because this is a place that's obviously got the world famous Canucks. They had an NBA franchise, the Grizzlies, yet it's an NASL team that kind of gave them their biggest moment on and off the pitch. Now let's talk about the final.
Yeah, it was magical.
During that final, us Whitecaps fans were so loud, I had goosebumps.
And there are the people who came all the way by airplane, 3,000 miles across the continent.
Even the New York fans eventually came over and said, "You guys are unbelievable."
From the shores of the Pacific to the shores of the Atlantic to see their Whitecaps.
You know, we were a good team. It was a hard game. They had Rodney Marsh and a lot of other good players on the Tampa Bay team, but we were confident to win.
What a goal!
Yeah.
In a final?
Weimar.
Trevor Weimark got both goals.
Weimark again. Another worldie as well. What a game winner.
Yeah. I mean, it was a party. I mean, and especially when we were winning and playing. It was just brilliant.
It's all over. The Vancouver Whitecaps are the new champions of the North American Soccer League, and they earned it every step of the way.
And it's what happened afterwards when they returned back to Vancouver, that team, that almost feels as legendary as the game. What exactly went down?
We're flying back the next day and we're all in there drinking. Community guy comes over, told us, leave the cars at the airport.
This was put together very quickly at this new facility downtown, Robson Square.
When we're all thinking, well, this is going to be embarrassing. There's going to be nobody there.
And they really weren't sure what to expect.
Because again, no internet, no Google. How do these people know? So we get to the airport packed, which we expected, get on these open top buses. As soon as we got onto the streets, it was wall to wall people all the way downtown.
Everybody was just going crazy. Like crazy.
Were you there?
Yeah.
You went together?
Yeah.
With our
kids. Took our kids.
Everything stopped in Vancouver for that. So I think it was the happiest and joyous I've seen the city ever.
So many people were grabbing at the trophy that it actually broke.
And your business was the one to fix it?
Yeah. So this is a picture of our son after they repaired it.
A lot of it was Jim McKay had made a comment in the final.
And these are Whitecap fanatics. Last Saturday, Vancouver became a deserted village.
There it is.
Yeah, that's it.
The famous or infamous village sound.
I did not sit well with the fans because we were considered a city rather than a village.
But he called it a village, and we took a little bit of exception here. And so that became a rallying cry.
I think that got under the skin a little bit of it, but then it ended up being a badge of honor.
That literally came from a piece of commentary.
Yep.
And now it's not just in soccer terms, but the village, I feel like, is a term a lot of people say.
Oh, absolutely. Goes beyond football and it's become a moniker or a marker of the city description.
I think that village term he used helps galvanize people to come to the parade.
100%.
And show we're not just a village.
In terms of celebration and memories, one of the biggest moments for Vancouver.
The estimates was anywhere from 100 to 150,000 people.
That it would be the most people I've ever seen celebrating something that happened in this city. It was amazing. It was so wonderful.
As soon as they announced him, people were going, "We want a stadium. We want a stadium."
What, during the parade, when the mayor came out?
Yep.
During the ceremony.
And that led the mayor, during the parade, to say they're building a new stadium. It's time the city grew up.
That's right. It was. Yeah.
The great victory of the Whitecaps points out the importance of our having a new stadium in Vancouver.
There's footage of him saying,
We are going to have a new stadium. I give you that promise.
now in the middle of that parade, you weren't there. You were working on
I'm writing a study for the Premier of the province on where and what kind of stadium he might undertake to get built.
So there were already kind of plans to build a stadium?
No, there was a desire to build a stadium. There was no decision to build a stadium.
It was just looking into it.
It was looking into it.
And the soccer ball win, and then therefore the parade happened whilst you were doing this study? And you think that perhaps was the...
Oh, I think it was key. Well, anytime you get 100,000 people leaving their homes to cheer a team arriving back in town, having just won the main trophy, it shows you've got support for the team and support for a stadium they play in.
So the province approved the stadium in early 1980?
Yep. First dome stadium, roofed stadium that worked in Canada, unlike the Olympic Stadium in Montreal.
BC Place it would be called?
BC Place, yep. And then the Whitecaps opened in 83.
The first sporting event in the stadium, a sellout crowd.
And then 3 years later, this city hosts Expo 86.
Expo 86, the World's Fair that happened on the shores of False Creek.
That was bigger than the Olympics, I think.
There was the Vancouver before Expo 86, and then there's the Vancouver that happened after Expo 86. It opened up the city to the rest of the world.
It drew people from all over the world. I think we had 22 million visitors.
Did it change the city?
Yes, it did, yes.
There was just so much going on. It was 6 months of just stuff happening.
Everybody who was alive at that point, ask anybody you know, and they have a photo of themselves either as a child or as an adult at Expo 86. It really put Vancouver on the map.
Change the complexity of the mentality of the people that we have to grow to be an international city.
You know, you can't see it now, but all behind this stadium was 86, Expo 86.
This land was all bought alongside the purchase of BC Place's land.
Yeah.
And again, people don't realize the legacy that has today.
Here's the stadium, but the World's Fair wraps all around here, all around here, all around here, all in these lands.
And again, all around here and all of this doesn't happen unless they build this.
No, unless we do the stadium and get these lands.
You can draw a straight line to all these other acts that happened.
The building of the stadium brought all the development that you now see with Vancouver. The downtown part of the city had not been developed at that same level. So it was an important catalyst to really helping build up the downtown of the city.
Expo 86, they were doing all sorts of projects. They were building Science World, which was a dome. If you look at it...
It's still there today?
Yeah. SkyTrain was also built in 86 for the Expo as well.
So Rapid Transit, the underground train you have here in the city now, that came with BC Place.
That came with BC Place.
Yeah, it's like these dominoes, that all these dominoes fell.
So let me get an understanding. So the festival that changes the city forever doesn't happen without this, the stadium, which doesn't happen without 100,000 people celebrating a soccer match in 1979.
Giant oaks from little acorns.
Yeah, that win, September 8th, 1979, changed Vancouver forever, changed the way Vancouver felt, Vancouver looked, Vancouver acted, Vancouver thought.
Yeah, well, what this has all led to is downtown Vancouver today. It was the beginning of Vancouver becoming a world-class city.
Every time you come downtown, you're feeling the legacy of that 1979 win that spurred on to the 86 build of Expo and the trains. So whether you like the Expo or history of Vancouver, football and the Whitecaps tie in. And it sounds weird, but that's a fact.
Your transit, your stadium, your city's mentality and the way downtown was changed and developed all came because the Whitecaps did the business against Tampa Bay Rowdies.
I never thought of it that way.
No, but you're right. You're right. It didn't even occur to us.
I think it's almost a travesty that people don't know this about their own city.
The funny thing is we often laugh at North American soccer clubs about how they don't have that much of an impact on their cities. But I don't think even Barcelona, Milan or Bayern Munich could say that their city changed literally, structurally, and even in the sense of mentality thanks to their football club.
Yeah.
Right, well, we've made it to the eve of our second match already. Another game where we've been told all tickets have already been snapped up. And as much as I think that is down to the Whitecaps' recent performances, I think it also comes down a lot to this guy, the Thomas Muller effect. I mean, in his first 5 games already, he scored 5 goals, got 3 assists, and has become the talk of the town for soccer and non-soccer folk alike. Take this example, for instance. Yesterday at the Canucks preseason match here in Vancouver, it was him attending that took all the headline. And so with 24 hours till the next game, I'm going to use that time to catch up with a couple of locals who have got the inside scoop on just how significant signing Germany's most decorated player has been. Do you remember where you were when you found out Thomas Muller was coming to Vancouver?
I was sitting on my computer, somebody put it on there from the Whitecaps, and I gone, I can't believe that.
I thought this couldn't be real.
Well, I think people are going like, huh? We got who? You know, no, you can't tell me. And then
I didn't even know they were negotiating with him. I don't think anyone knew.
Incredible. I had messages from family in Europe saying, Thomas Muller just signed for you guys in the Vancouver Whitecaps.
How is that? An international star coming to Vancouver. Coming to the village of Vancouver.
Probably bigger than any NHL signing the city has ever had. It's insane just how big his story has become in Vancouver.
Doesn't compare. It feels like a simulation, let me tell you.
the attendance has gone like this.
The last 3 games have been sold out?
The last 3 of the last 4 MLS games have been sold out.
Even on the road, usually we have like a handful of fans, but the last 2 road games, multiple Muller jerseys, multiple people at our hotel.
And you just look around in Muller jerseys, that's all you see.
It is phenomenal.
Incredible. Shirt sales
we have
sold
been
out.
sold out since even before he landed. And Adidas Canada has no shirts available.
Right now we're sold out of all of our Muller jerseys.
We have names for him, but we have no shirts to print them on.
The minute we had the signing of Thomas, we saw a huge shift in our momentum. We had 200,000 new followers from all over the world. The amount of requests for interviews, engagement, coverage dramatically increased.
You see that just from his arrival at the airport, the number of media that were there, the number of fans that were there, the number of cameras that were there. Can't describe to you just how it felt witnessing someone of that caliber, someone of that name come to the city and then embrace that role.
He legitimately wants to be a part of Vancouver.
Biking along the seawall and shaking hands with fans. He's learned about the city, about this club, and he's so charismatic. You can't ask for something better as a reporter.
He's like that every day on and off camera. Of course, he's a professional, like he's in the zone, but honestly, he's been one of the most engaging players that I've had the pleasure of working with.
I love it. I mean, he's scoring goals on the pitch. He's cracking them on off the pitch. You got to get us an interview. You got to, come on, hook us up.
Well, we'll talk to our comms folks. They'll do their best. Yeah, they.
I'd love to chat with him. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. Well, hello. We're from Copper 90, yes. Again, Thomas, Eli, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, bro. You all right?
Let's go.
When I decided for the Whitecaps, I did some research. I think the city was founded 1886.
Wow, okay, I didn't know that. You've done your research.
Yeah.
It's not only about the game, it's also about the stories, about the people. I watched a documentary about 79.
Yeah.
There was
a big thing for Vancouver, a real big deal for the people here.
And have you felt that since being here? With the vintage kits and the vintage...
Yes and no. I think we are in modern times now.
Yeah.
I live always in the present because I can only control the present.
Yeah.
Because I think when we live in the past, it's 50 years ago. So in this time span, nothing really successful happened. You know what I mean?
No, I don't mean.
And the people are also thirsty, not only Willie, for success.
Yeah.
And for going deeper and for showing up that Vancouver is a city you have to respect also in the soccer world, you know, and that's what we want to achieve.
So I think that's a fitting way to wrap up. It's been an epic week of discovering soccer culture in Vancouver. Now we wait for the sun, or whatever you call this, to go down and enjoy our second match.
Being a Whitecaps fan right now is the best it's ever been. And you'll see that in the stadium today. We have a big name. We're going for our 5th sellout at the Lower Bowl, 26,000. And our membership has grown, the culture in the city has grown. And even with our backups, we were competing against the best teams in the league, and now we are one of the best teams in the league. And it's fun to be able to say that.
Thomas Muller chose us. We did not choose Thomas.
I wanted to go somewhere I can compete for championships. So that was a big reason for me to join the Whitecaps as well.
I don't think in modern football today, you could get a better compliment.
Do you think it would get off to as good a start as it has been, though, even knowing how successful the club will get in?
Yeah, we are not done yet.
2-0 to the Whitecaps, and who scored? The man from Bavaria. He plays again, he scores again, and in this incredible stadium, amongst another sold-out attendance, this incredible story that started in 1974, peaked in 79, has had its dips, is slowly rising again. That might be the best hat I've seen in this stadium, and I've seen some pretty impressive vintage memorabilia.
Well, I don't say this lightly, especially with you,
yeah,
but it's a club.
That's from 1979, that hat.
There's a lot of soccer teams in North America. There's not that many clubs. And I think that's what Vancouver got in being 1974 in the first kick back in the old North American Soccer League. It was established as a club, and we carry that moniker proudly.
As someone who's lived here and grown up, it's very exciting. Soccer, not only in Canada, but Vancouver has been on an upward trajectory. I don't think the game has ever been as popular and as followed and loved as it is now. It's the hottest ticket in the city.
The pulse for soccer in the city right now is as high as it's ever been.
So these years have been really special, and you feel like they're building up to something really, really big.
Football played second fiddle for many years here, as we know, even though it wasn't necessarily the #2 sport. A lot of people are supporting this club now because football in this city has become something for people to love, something for people to feel passionate about. We have a big club in our town.
And a big football culture that people are proud of. If you look at the crowds today, it more represents what this country looks like.
People think of Canada, think of hockey, and they don't know that we're as passionate about the game as they are. You scratch the surface, you'll find those diamonds in the rough. You'll find those pearls in the oysters. And by that I mean you've got the journalists that have to cover other sports, but they're soccer people at heart. You've got the historians, the people that keep all the memorabilia, keep the stories alive, and yeah, the fans. So you take a look at the Southsiders. If you go to the game tomorrow night,
How proud are you of the Vancouver Whitecaps?
Well, don't get me crying here, okay? You know, I don't want to start crying or anything, but I am so proud of those guys. And you can see how crazy the soccer is going in this country.
What I witnessed in '79, I'm witnessing now. And I haven't witnessed that any other time.
If you're a sports fan in this city, like, it's pain. It's just always pain. Grizzlies get taken away. The Canucks lose in Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final.
This club brought the only major trophy to the city.
This is it.
Oh, okay. Now I'm really understanding the significance of what that meant.
So if they could do that, like, if the Caps, like, win the MLS Cup, no one really knows what's on the other side of that. And it has to be good. So
It's nice to have that feeling again that I haven't had since '79.